The 36th ING New York City Marathon, the elite men's race, and ASIC's great marathon moment. ASICS, sound mind, sound body, proud sponsor of the ING New York City Marathon. The pace is taken up a few notches. Columbus Circle. The world will now be treated to one of the most extraordinary conclusions in all of sport. A minute fraction separates the two. The finish line crowd has seen the closest finish in marathon history.
Obviously, marathons are painful, but for you, it's about being able to deal with pain yourself and also inflict pain on others. Mm-hmm. That's part of strategy.
Yes. You know, when I start to feel fairly uncomfortable, it's all about embracing it and realizing it's inevitable.
Embracing
it, yes. So if I'm uncomfortable, I usually know my competitors are uncomfortable. If they're straggling behind, that's kind of the time when I say, I'm gonna put the screw in. I can tell that they're either struggling mentally or physically, so I'm gonna just push it and just see if I can break them.
What is it about running a marathon that has so many people signing up to do one? I mean, what's the big deal, right? You run, and if you finish the race, you get a nice piece of metal and a banana. But maybe running a marathon is much more than just crossing that finish line. Maybe it's about crossing all these other imaginary lines that we all have, these goals that we're trying to achieve, that maybe running a marathon reminds us of what we can and cannot do. Maybe doing something so physically and mentally taxing and accomplishing it reminds us and gives us confidence that whatever else we got going on, maybe we can handle those things. So I do think that running a marathon is much more than just crossing a finish line or running miles. I think it goes deeper than that. And I think I'm willing to find out what that is. My name is Andres Vargas, and I am running the Disney Marathon. Running for me has always been recreational. It's never been something that I took too seriously. I knew enough about it to know how to perform well and not kind of hurt myself or injure myself in any particular way. And over the years, I've always done things such as 5Ks, which is about 3 miles. I've done 10Ks, and I've done a couple half marathons, which is about 13 miles. Never ever thinking I ever do a full marathon, because after those half marathons, I'm like, nah, I don't need to do any more of this. But recently, with how the world has been and kind of lately with schedule and work and life in general, I've kind of taken a step back from running, so I haven't been as dedicated to it, and I've been wanting to get back into it. And I figured that by doing so, I might as well give myself a challenge that, well, with something I've never done before, which is doing a full marathon, which is 26 miles. And yeah, that's what we're doing. What's special about the Disney Marathon is that it's Disney. So the fun part is I've done the races at Disney, and obviously, as you can imagine, they do all the magical stuff. It's all about, being in the Disney environment and being surrounded by the characters, seeing the castle, all that good stuff. Originally, my plan was if I was going to run a marathon, I want to run the New York Marathon, one of the big major marathons that happen around the world. Well, it's very hard to get into the New York Marathon, plain and simple. You have to get into a lottery, or you have to pay, you have to volunteer, do a bunch of other stuff. And I did sign up for the lottery, and unfortunately did not get in. But fortunately, what I realized is I think the following week that the registration was going to open for the Disney Marathon. And I was able to sign up for the full marathon for the Disney one, which at that moment I realized, okay, now it's getting real. Now I actually have to do this. And the fear settled in of, okay, this is getting real. So again, Disney is just a very unique place to be able to do something like this for the first time. And I'm actually relieved that it will end up being kind of the first place I do a marathon, because it is close to home. It's something I'm familiar with, and they do make a whole big event about it. I know the idea of running a marathon is probably the last thing many people actually do. In fact, only 1% of people in the whole world actually run a marathon. But for me, honestly, it's not about running. It's about this idea of putting a challenge in front of you and saying, okay, it's gonna be intense. It's gonna be a lot of hard work. It's gonna be a lot of dedication. But the satisfaction of actually doing it is going to be so much more meaningful, despite what the actual thing is, which is in this case running a marathon. So for me, it's not about running. It's about saying there's something I want to attack. There's something I want to achieve. Knowing all the hard work, knowing all the work it's going to take, I want to be able to achieve it. And for me, at this particular stage of my life, this is something that I feel can be attainable and something that I feel I can dedicate myself to getting done. For people watching this, the thing I really want them to take away from this is just feel like, I don't want people to put on some shoes and go out and run. That's not, if you do that, great. If not, then that's not the point of this whole thing. The point is, if there's something that you were wanting to do, if there's something that maybe you've always been scared to do, or maybe you didn't feel encouraged to do, maybe it's just a matter of just taking those first steps to do it, and then you realize, whoa, maybe there is a possibility of me achieving this. Maybe there's a chance that I can actually do this. And by people watching this, I want them to feel what it's like to actually see someone say, let me go try, let me go take those steps. That eventually will lead to hopefully something successful. And even if it doesn't, to actually say that you actually did something about it, that you even tried, I think that means a lot more than just sitting around saying, well, I never tried it because of this reason or that reason. So I want people to feel motivated to whatever that thing is, whatever is that line that they want to cross. Maybe it's just a matter of just getting up and doing it. I've done a lot of homework, a lot of research, trying to understand what is the best way to train for a full marathon. Training regimens, things that you can come up with, all that good stuff. And what I've decided to do is I've broken it down into 4 categories. The first being obviously running, understanding pace, understanding endurance. Part 2 of the training is fuel, which is essentially everything you eat. So what you eat in the morning, what you eat before the race, what you eat after the race, whatever you eat throughout the week, that's all key. The third part of the training is strength training. So one of the things that you have to develop is strengthen your muscles, particularly in your legs. The last thing you want to do is cause any injuries. So you want to build the strength in your legs and overall in your body, because as you're running consistently throughout this whole training program, you tend to kind of want to make sure you're giving your body all the other areas to kind of get some training in as well. And the fourth, which is probably the most important one, is mental. So they say running a marathon is 10% physical, 90% mental. So what you think, what you do, what you say about yourself, as you're training and as you're running these races is very critical. And that's going to probably be the most challenging in trying to get out of your own head in getting this whole thing done. Well, as this whole crazy journey is about to begin, the only thing I can think about is, why am I doing this? And as like I said, I have my reasons, and more of those reasons will be revealed throughout the journey, but I feel like I'm excited that this is becoming a reality, but I'm also nervous of hoping that what I've told myself and what I'm expecting of myself is going to come to a reality. So I'm excited, I'm nervous, but the only thing I can really do is just take it one step at a time.